Thank you very much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong, and a very warm welcome to Pointless, the quiz show where obvious answers mean nothing and obscure answers mean everything. Let's meet today's players. So first we welcome Graham and David. You're our first pair on the show today. How do you two know each other?
Graham's married to my sister, and we've known each other for 20 years. 20
years. Have you ever quizzed together before?
On a less formal basis than this, yes, a few pub quizzes.
This is a very formal basis.
Yeah.
Yes, nothing informal about this. Graham, what do you do?
I'm a civil servant.
Which department of the civil service?
UK border agency.
Oh.
Leave it there.
Leave it there. So what do you hope is going to come up this afternoon, David?
Well, sort of films and books, really. That's my main interest.
Films and books. Graham, how about you? What's your...
Anything apart from films and books.
Well, this is perfect. This is exactly right. OK, well, very best of luck. Great to have you on the show. Next, we welcome Matt and Andy. How do you two know each other?
Matt and I work together in IT sales, have done for about 4 years.
Indeed. Indeed. Where have you come from?
Portsmouth.
Matt, what are you hoping is going to come up this afternoon? What's your specialist area?
Literature and cricket.
Literature.
A combination of the two would be perfect.
Well, no, you don't want that. You want to spread it. Spread your knowledge, Matt. 2 rounds. Andy, what are your obsessions? I say obsessions, so you don't have to have obsessions, obviously. I'm not encouraging it.
Yeah, we can't talk about that now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it might come up. It might come up.
History. Very much into history.
Very much history. Any particular favourite period of history?
English medieval history, and in particular ancient Greek, Roman, little bit of Egyptian.
Does that mean you also have a bit of a handle on Latin and ancient Greek? No. I won't push it. OK, well, very best of luck to the pair of you. Great to have you here. Next, we welcome back David. Look, you're David P. today. You've got initials after your name since we last met.
Yeah, I've been upgraded.
You have?
Yeah.
David P. Because, of course, we have David H. here in the green on desk 1. David and James, you were on the show last time. Everyone gets 2 chances to reach the Pointless final. This is your second chance. Remind us how you did.
We went out in the second round. We had a geography question.
Skellig Michael, that's what it was. Skellig Michael. Mind you, for heaven's sake, it's a pretty good punt. You said it was on the Shetland Islands. Turns out it's in Ireland.
Yeah. If I ever come across Skellig Michael, I'll kick it.
You know what? I wouldn't if I were you. UNESCO would go mental. It's a heritage site, you know.
Yeah. I must remember that.
Yeah. David, what do you do in your spare time? What occupies you?
My main hobby is I play in a band.
What do you play?
I play the drums.
What's the name of your band?
We're called the Stags.
The Stags?
Yeah.
I mean, did you get the idea on some stag weekend when you were off your
I don't
places?
know. I was the band was already formed before I was invited to join. So
what happened to the old drummer?
I don't know.
He died.
Did he? That'll be why they never mention him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's the curse of the Stags drummer, isn't it?
Yeah. God.
Have you never
they've
heard
had
of that?
7 or 8 drummers now, haven't they? The Stags.
The legend of it is written up on Skellig Michael.
Fantastic. Well, very best of luck to you, James and David.
thank you.
And finally, we welcome back Paul and Alejandra. You were on the show last time. Remind us what happened.
We didn't do very well. We left after the first round. It was totally my fault.
Yes, you picked a Bill Murray film that didn't have Bill Murray in, I'm afraid.
Exactly.
That's right. Dear, oh dear. Richard, sorry, I was going to say, can I maybe be called Alejandro from now on?
Oh, so that'd be lovely.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Yeah.
Just you know, spice things up a bit. Alexander's a bit dull.
Yeah, Alejandro.
Alejandro.
OK, that's what I can do.
Might be
and
all
you
that's
can call
been
me
missing.
Richard.
Say again?
Richard.
Richard.
Yeah.
Okay.
You like it?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Alejandro. Alejandro.
Good pronunciation.
Thank you very much. Paul, what would you like to come up?
World affairs, maybe, geography, something like that.
Well, you were fantastic last time. You only got a chance to give one answer, I'm afraid, but the only one you gave was pointless, so your record is unblemished.
Hopefully there's some more pointless answers in there.
I hope so very much. Anyway, very best of luck to you. It's great to have you back on the show. We'll find out more about all of you throughout the show. There's only one person left for me to introduce. He'd be the head boy at the School of Obscurity. He's my pointless friend. He's Richard.
Hello. Oh, yeah.
Headmaster. Headmaster is what you'd be.
Do you
not
think?
Head boy. Not head boy.
How are you, Alejandro? Are you OK?
Well, Richard, I'm fine. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad at all. We've got 2 returning pairs today. Again, neither of them got through to the head-to-head, but I think probably both quite strong pairs. I think tripped up, unfortunately, both pairs. Yeah, it should be very good. We do have a bit of geography, which a lot of people seem to have asked for.
Everyone asks for geography, then when it comes up, they run for the hills.
They do, actually. Everyone goes to geography, and when it comes up, they go, that's my worst subject. I think when people say geography, they sort of mean countries and capitals, don't they? Rather than Oxbow Lakes and relief maps.
Relief maps, the only thing I know.
You're going to love round 2.
I've got a relief map of London.
Is that a map where they show all the public toilets?
Now, we put all our questions to 100 people before the show, but this is pointless, so we are after the obscure answers that they didn't get. Now, what everyone's trying to do, of course, is to find a pointless answer. That's an answer that none of our 100 people gave. And each time that happens, we will add £250 to the jackpot. Now, nobody won the jackpot last time, so we add another £1,000 to that. So today's jackpot starts off at £2,500. Right, let's play pointless. OK, in the first round, each of you must give me one answer and you cannot confer with your partner. Whichever team has the highest score at the end of the round will be eliminated. OK, our first category this afternoon is religion. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many things found in a church as they could. Richard.
Yeah, all the correct answers in this round are going to be things you might typically find in a church building. That's areas, furniture, decorations, or items used for worship.
OK, thanks very much, Richard. Now then, Graham and David, you all drew lots before the show, and this afternoon you get to go first. In this round, we're going to give you a choice of 7 possible answers on the board in each pass. Your first set of 7 answers reads like this. Pews, transept, paschal candle, font, catapelta, chalice, tabernacle. Pews, transept, paschal candle, font, catapelta, chalice, tabernacle. Now, I can tell you that at least one of those answers is pointless, and at least one of those answers is incorrect. So try and avoid picking the incorrect ones, or you will score the maximum of 100 points. Now then, Graham, are you something we might occasionally find in a church?
No, not really. Not a particularly good round for me, this one.
Right, OK.
I think I'll go for transept.
OK, you can say transept. As always, you are hoping for a nice obscure answer that will score as few points as possible. What do you think the transept might be?
I don't know. It's sort of... it rings a bell somewhere. I've heard of it somewhere, so I'm hoping it's in a church.
Well, let's see if it's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said transept. Very well done, Graham. That's a great answer. Transept scores you 1 point. Richard.
Yeah, well played, Graham. Very good start. The transept is the projecting arms of a cross-shaped church.
Thanks very much. Now then, Andy. Andy, how is this for you?
Not good.
Not a good category.
No.
As in, you have to guess completely, or...
If I went for one of the more obvious ones, it wouldn't be a guess. I'm hedging my bets on one of them, and I don't know if I'm brave enough to go for it. I will go for tabernacle.
You're going to go for tabernacle. OK, well, you're hoping to find something correct and obscure that we will find in a church. You're saying tabernacle. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said tabernacle. It's right. Very well done. 3. The low scores continue. Tabernacle, Richard.
Yes, well done, Andy. A small cabinet or chest in which the consecrated hosts are kept.
Thank you very much. Now then, James, we are looking for things you might find in a church.
Well, Alexander, I wish I'd paid a bit more attention during church parade when I was in the Cubs.
I tell you what, there's at least one pointless answer still on that board.
I don't think I'm brave enough to go for it, so I'm going to go with chalice, which I think is the thing that you take communion out of, that contains the wine, I think.
Might very well be. Let's see. Let's hope it is, not a poisoned chalice. OK, let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. Chalice, James. 11. Not a bad score at all, but in the context, quite a high one. Richard.
Yeah, well done, James, and the first person to actually know what his word meant as well, which is good. Yeah, it's the cup used to hold the wine in communion en masse.
Thanks very much, Richard. Now then, Paul, we are looking for things you might find in a church, and why not see if you can't find a pointless answer? Again, keep your record clean.
OK, well, I did want to say transept, and I was also considering chalice and tabernacle. Pews will be quite high-scoring. I think font as well, probably. I think Pascal candle is correct. I think it might be something to do with Advent. Catapulta, I've never heard of. I think it's a low-scoring round, though, so I need to take a risk. I'll go for Pascal candle and hope it's not
Pascal candle. OK.
100.
You think it's something to do with Advent?
I think so, yes.
We'll find out. Let's see if it's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Pascal candle. Very well done, Paul. That's right. There we are. Pointless answer. That's your second pointless answer in 2 answers. Very well done, you. That adds £250 to today's jackpot, takes the total up to £2,750. And it scores you absolutely nothing.
Yeah, very well done, Paul. Really gutsy to take that risk as well at the end of the row. Not used at Advent, but used at Easter, but obviously lodged in your head somewhere. Let's take a look at the rest of the answers. You were all right to avoid pews and font. They were fairly high scoring. Pews would have scored you 71, and font would have scored you lower, actually, 44, but still more than you'd want. The catapulta is a medieval form of torture, sort of like a press in which to crush a criminal. The catapulta. It's horrible, isn't it?
Isn't it horrid?
So that was an incorrect answer. It's not found in a church. And if you did find it in your church, probably time to find another church.
Thanks very much, Richard. OK, we're halfway through the round, so let's take a look at the scores. Well, Paul and Alejandra, 0. Fabulous low score. And then we come up to Graham and David on 1, another fabulous low score. Up to Andy and Matt on 3, fabulous low score. James,
Who'd have thought it?
way out ahead on 11. So listen, David P., it's all on your shoulders in the next pass. Very best of luck. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, we're going to put 7 more answers on the board, and here they come. We're looking for things found in a church. And we have got altar, nave, mantis, thestral, hymnal, pulpit, hassock. I'm going to read those one more time. Altar, nave, mantis, thestral, hymnal, pulpit, hassock. And again, I can tell you that at least one of those answers is pointless, and at least one of those answers is incorrect, so try and avoid those incorrect ones at all costs. Alejandra, how well did Paul do there?
His mum will be proud.
Yes.
Like what people may think about Latin Americans, that we're all Catholic and religious.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. Very much. Used to be, but my answer is mantis.
Mantis. OK, last time round, Paul scored nothing, you scored 100. Let's hope that's not going to happen this time. Let's see how many people said mantis. There's your red line. Below that red line, you're through to the next round. Oh, Alejandra. History repeating itself. Unfortunately, mantis is an incorrect answer, which means you scored a maximum of 100 points. That takes your total up to 100. Richard.
Yeah, sorry, Alejandra, not commonly found in a church building unless it has an infestation of praying mantises.
OK, now then, David P., you are on 11. You've been thrown a bit of a lifeline there.
Yeah,
the high scorers are Alejandra and Paul on 100. Should you score 88 or less with this answer, you are definitely through to the next round.
So I'm going to go safe for me, and I'm going to go for knave.
Knave. OK, there it is, second on the list. Let's see if knave's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said knave. right, you're through. Very well done, 10. 10 for nave takes your total up to 21. Richard.
Yeah, well done, David. The middle aisle of a church, the nave. St Albans Cathedral, reputed to have the longest nave in Britain.
OK, thanks very much, Richard. Now then, Matt, you're on 3. The high scorers are Alejandra and Paul on 100. If you can score 96 or less, you are through to the next round. Matt, how do you feel? Is this a good category for you?
Not particularly, but there's, I hope, ones there that I think are definitely right, and I'll take the safe option, much as Dave did, I think. So
There's a pointless answer out there. There's a pointless answer. It'll add 250 quid to the jackpot.
true, but there may also be another wrong answer.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for pulpit.
You're going to go for pulpit. What's the pulpit, Matt?
I think it's where the minister preaches from.
OK, good luck. Let's see if pulpit is right, and if it is, how many people said it? Very well done, you're through. $32. Takes your total up to 35. Richard.
Yeah, the pulpit, a large raised platform from which the sermon is given.
Now then, David H.
Yep.
Remember, we are looking for things found in a church. You are on 1. The high scorers are Alejandra and Paul on 100. You're the last person to have this board.
I'm afraid I'm going to try and play safe, and I'm going to go for hymnal.
You're going to go for hymnal. There's your red line immediately below the pink line. Below that red line, of course, you are through to the next round. Let's see if hymnal's right and how many people said it. Hymnal. Well done, you're through. And down it comes. Wow. So hymnal is a pointless answer, and it adds £250 to the jackpot, takes the total up to £3,000. It scores you nothing and leaves you with a fantastically low total of 1. Rich, hymnal's pointless.
Yeah, I know, not bad for playing it safe. I get what it's a hymn. I guess, you know, people call them hymn books, not hymnals. I guess perhaps hymnal is a too old-fashioned a word for it, but very surprising, pointless answer. But a very welcome one. Let's take a look at the rest of the board. The altar, obviously, is part of a church. That would have scored you 78, which is a big old score. The hassock, obviously, are those small cushions you kneel on that people often embroider. That would have scored a very low 3. And thestral, do you think that is pointless, or do you think it is an incorrect answer?
I think that's incorrect.
You are quite right, it is incorrect. It's some winged skeletal creatures from Harry Potter, the thestrals.
But it doesn't soessound like something
It
in a
really
church.
does. I hope a few people at home were fooled and are now saying, no, I know it was from Harry Potter. It's just my little joke. But it really does sound like it's from a church.
Doesn't it?
I think I might have gone for thestral.
Thanks, Richard. So at the end of round 1, our losing pair with the highest score, again, it's Alejandra and Paul. You scored a pointless answer, Paul. You've only answered 2 questions on this show in your history, and both of them have been pointless. You leave here with an unblemished record, sir.
I have to say, statistically, Paul is the greatest contestant we've ever had.
I'll go out on a high then.
You can't do better than that, can you?
You go down into the concordance of pointless. You will feature in that, Paul.
Based on that, I'm the worst.
Alejandra, I wasn't going to say that. You know, you're playing in your second language, for heaven's sake. It has
No, I
to be
tried to
said.
go for pointless ones, which I thought was the
Well,
point of the
exactly.
show.
Your instincts were completely correct. Just sadly, your answers weren't. But you've done incredibly well, and the pair of you have been brilliant contestants. Thank you so much for playing. With the remaining 3 pairs, it's time for round 2. Now, obviously, only 2 pairs can make it through to the head-to-head, so one team is going to be leaving us at the end of this round. OK, our category for round 2 this afternoon is America. America. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, so our second round question concerns US state capitals and their states. In this round, we're about to show you a list of US cities which are state capitals. We asked 100 people to tell us of which state each city is capital. Richard.
Yeah, we're going to show you 6 cities on each pass. The more obscure the answer, the fewer points you're going to score. If you give us an incorrect answer, the wrong state, you'll score 100 points.
OK, thanks very much, Richard. So we are looking for the US state that each of these cities is capital of. And we have got Nashville, Sacramento, Tallahassee, Lincoln, Boston, Atlanta. I'll read those all again. Nashville, Sacramento, Tallahassee, Lincoln, Boston, Atlanta. Now, as always on Pointless, you are looking for the answer that the fewest of our 100 people knew. Now, David H. David H.
Yeah.
Have you been to America?
Yes.
Have you been to lots of different states in America?
No.
What do you think of that board behind me?
It's a mixture of fear and panic.
Oh, there's a fear and loathing there.
So I will choose Atlanta, which I believe is the capital of Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia, you're saying? Well, let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. $62. 62 for Atlanta, Georgia. Richard?
Yeah, pretty big score. People know their stuff with these sorts of things, don't they? Capital cities and state capitals and what have you. But yeah, the capital of Georgia in the deep south.
Now then, Andy. There are the US cities. I need you to tell me the name of the state of which the most obscure of those you can name is capital.
I'm so tempted to have a punt on one of them, but I'm only about 10% sure I'm right. Oh, let's be brave. Sacramento, I think, is the capital of New Mexico.
Sacramento, New Mexico. Matt, what do you think?
Hope so.
Sacramento, New Mexico. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said Sacramento, New Mexico. Oh, no, Andy! Oh, no! Oh, dear! Well, unfortunately, Sacramento is not the capital of New Mexico, which I'm afraid means you score the maximum of 100 points. Richard.
Yeah, I won't say the answer just in case the other team want to have a go at that question.
OK. David P. David P., you're the last person to have this selection of state capitals, so take us on a tour through them.
OK. I've got an inkling for most of them, I think. Boston is in Massachusetts. That's the only one of those cities I've been to. Tallahassee, I think, is Florida. Nashville is Tennessee. Sacramento is California. And Lincoln, I think, is in Nebraska. I'm going to go Lincoln, Nebraska.
Lincoln, Nebraska. Very well said. Let's see if that is right. And if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. What do you think, James?
I'd have gone Boston.
Let's see if it's right. Let's see how many people said Lincoln, Nebraska. Good luck, David. Well done, it's right. Very good indeed. Lincoln, Nebraska. Down it comes. That's a fabulous score. Look at that, David P. 9 points for Lincoln, Nebraska. Richard?
Yeah, very, very well done, David. That's the way to play Pointless. Not only a correct answer, it's the best answer on the board as well. So very well done, and very well done at home as well if you said Nebraska. Let's take a look at the rest of the board. Nashville is the capital of Tennessee. You've actually taken us through the whole board. That would have scored you 69. Boston is Massachusetts. Would have scored you 43. Then Sacramento, which, as you say, is California, would have scored 27. And Tallahassee is Florida. And that would have scored 10 points.
OK, well, we're halfway through the round, so let's take a look at the scores as they stand. David P. and James looking very, very strong there. 9 points there. Well done. Then we go up quite substantially, up to David and Graham on 62, and then up to Andy and Matt. But you did exactly the right thing. That's what Pointless is all about. It's all about taking the big risks. You have to do that. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, we're going to put 6 more US state capitals on the board, and here they come. Salt Lake City, Columbus, Denver, Albany, Austin, and Hartford. Let me say those again. Salt Lake City, Columbus, Denver, Albany, Austin, and Hartford. Now, remember, we are looking for the state of which each of those cities is the capital, and you're trying to find the one that the fewest of our 100 people knew, James. The high scorers are Matt and Andy on 100 points. You're on 9. Should you score 90 or less with your answer, you are through to the head-to-head. What do you think?
I think Dave should have taken the second round in this one. I think I know Salt Lake City because my aunt lives there. I'm going to say Salt Lake City, state of Utah.
Utah. Salt Lake City, Utah, you are saying. There is your red line. Below that red line, you are through to the next round. Good luck. Salt Lake City, is it Utah? And how many people said it? Very well done, James. Quite right. 45 for Salt Lake City and Utah. Takes your total up to 54. You are through to the next round. Richard.
Yeah, Salt Lake City, very good answer. You can relax now for a bit. Yeah, held the Winter Olympics in 2002. It's got a big lake in it.
Now then, Matt, you are the high scorers. You and Andy are on 100 points. Your job here is to answer as obscurely as you possibly can. It's the only way you'll stay in the game.
Sadly, I don't think my knowledge of American geography is good enough for this, but we'll give it a crack. I'm going to go for Denver being the capital of Colorado.
Denver, Colorado, you're saying? Let's see if Denver is indeed Colorado, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. Denver, Colorado. Yes, it's right. How far down can it take you? 59, oh dear. That scores you 59, gives you a total of 159. Richard.
Yeah, still just about in it. They call it the Mile High City because it's built at such an altitude.
Now then, Graham, this is the decider. You are on 62. Matt and Andy are on 159. Should you score 96 or less, you are through to the head-to-head. What's that board saying to you, Graham? Talk us through it.
I think I know most of them, but it's whether I want to take a gamble and try and get a point this one or not. I think Columbus, Ohio, Austin, Texas, Albany I'm not too sure of. Hartford, I think, is Connecticut. Probably the pointless answer, but I'm scared. I'll go Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. Yeah. OK, Austin, Texas, you're saying. Here's your red line. If you can get below that red line, nice and high. If you can get below that, you are through to the next round. Let's see if Austin, Texas is right. And if it is, how many people said it? Yes, it's right, and you are through. Very well done, Graham. 66, that scores you. Takes your total up to 128. Richard.
Yeah, well played, Graham. Let's take a look at the rest of the board. You were right about a couple of the others. Columbus is indeed Ohio. That would have scored you 28 points. Hartford is Connecticut. That would have scored 19. And the best answer on the board is Albany, which is the capital of New York. Would have scored you 14 points.
Thanks very much, Richard. So at the end of round 2, the losing pair with the highest score is Matt and Andy. What have you learnt from your brief spell on your first Pointless? Any good tactics you can bring to bear next time?
I knew every single one of the capitals on the second board. Every single one.
It is a question of who'd gone first and who'd gone second.
Which is potluck, I suppose.
It is indeed potluck. It really is. But anyway, we will see you again next time. Thanks very much, meanwhile, for playing. You've been great contestants. Thank you. But for the remaining 2 pairs, things are going to get even more exciting now as we enter the head-to-head. Very well done, David and James. Graham and David, you've made it through to the head-to-head. Now, obviously, only one pair can make it through to today's final and play for the jackpot, which currently stands at £3,000. Now, you're going to go head-to-head on the best of 3 questions. For each question, each pair needs to give me just one answer, and you are now allowed to confer. All you have to do is come up with an answer that scores less than the other pair, and you will win that question. The first pair to get to the best of 3 will be playing for today's jackpot. Let's play Pointless. OK, here is your first question. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many colours of the Olympic rings as they could. Colours of the Olympic rings. Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for any of the colours of the 5 rings on the Olympic flag. And there are 5 answers.
Thanks, Richard. Now, David and James, because you've played best throughout the show so far, you get to go first. So let me know which one you want to go for.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
OK, we have an answer.
I think so. We've decided to go for black.
You're going to go for black. OK, Graham and David H. Black has gone.
Green, definitely. In there.
Green. We'll go green.
You're going to go green. We have black, we have green. David and James have said black. Let's see how many people said black. That's right, obviously. Down it goes, 51. 51 for black. Now, Graham and David have gone for green. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said green. Ooh. Wow. A very high score there for green. OK, so after our first question, David P. and James are ahead, 1-0. Richard?
Yeah, black was the killer answer there. Those 5 colours together with white, which is the background. The idea there was that every single flag of the world was represented in some way. There wasn't a single flag of the world at that time which didn't have one of those colours in it. Let's take a look at all of them. Black far and away the best answer with 51, then yellow 84, green 90, blue 96 and red 98.
Thanks very much, Richard. OK, here is your second question. Graham and David, you have to win this question. Stay in the game. Good luck. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Oasis albums as they could. Oasis albums. Richard?
Yeah, we're looking for any studio album released by Oasis prior to the start of 2011. Greatest hits albums and live albums don't count. There are 8 albums on the list.
OK, now, Graham and David H., you get to go first this time.
I think you defer to me on this one. I've gone blank. It's not going to be pointless. It's going to be a very high answer, but I'll have to go for What's the Story, Morning Glory.
What's the Story, Morning Glory? OK.
But I think that's going to be quite high, possibly the highest. So I don't think we should gamble. I think we should go for the middle of the road one.
Right.
So what options have you got?
Heathen Chemistry, I think, is one.
Is that definitely an album?
Yeah, and
Standing
on the Shoulder of
I'd
Giants.
go for that one.
OK, we'll go for Standing on the Shoulder of Giants.
OK. So we have What's the Story, Morning Glory from Graham and David H. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. Oh, 23. 23, that's a lower score than I was anticipating for that. What's the Story, Morning Glory? Only 23. Now then, David and James, you have to get below 23 with Standing on the Shoulder of Giants. Think you can do that?
That's a low score.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to beat.
If you can, you are through to the final. Let's see. Standing on the Shoulder of Giants. Is it right? And if it is, how many people said it? That's right. Very well done. You are through to the final. 9 beats 23. After 2 questions, David P. and James are through to the final 2-0. Richard?
Yeah, well played, David and James. There were 5 answers that would have beaten Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, one of which was Heathen Chemistry. But let's take a look at all of them. Right at the bottom, the most recent one prior to 2011, Dig Out Your Soul, is the tour for that where Noel Gallagher quit. The Master Plan on 2 is a collection of B-sides. Heathen Chemistry and Don't Believe the Truth on 5. Be Here Now, that scores 8. Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, based on an Isaac Newton quote, that title would have scored you 9. Definitely Maybe at 20. And What's the Story, Morning Glory was top of the pile on 23.
Thanks very much, Richard. So the losing pair at the end of the head-to-head is Graham and David H. Oh, bad luck, bad luck. You've played incredibly well throughout the show so far, and it's rather ill-served by the order in which you were placed, I would say there. I think you had black, probably, didn't you, for the Olympic rings?
I've got Heathen Chemistry at home as well, but forgot the title, so...
Forgot the title, oh dear. You've played fulsomely in this game. I'm sorry we have to say goodbye to you now, but we will see you again next time. Look forward to that. Thanks very much for playing. Great. But for David and James, it's now time for our pointless final and the chance to win our jackpot of £3,000. Congratulations, David and James. You fought off all the competition and you have won our coveted Pointless trophy, so very, very well done.
Very good.
You now have a chance to win our Pointless jackpot. And at the end of today's show, the jackpot stands at £3,000. There it is. Now, the rules are very simple. To win that money, all you have to do is find a pointless answer, an answer that none of our 100 people could think of. Now, we've had 2 pointless answers on the show today. You only have to find 1 more now, and you will go home with that money. First, though, you've got to choose a category, and you can choose from these 3 options. Here they are. Fashion, comic actors, or Spain. Fashion, comic actors, or Spain. What do you think?
Well, we're not very good in geography, as we've demonstrated over the last couple of shows. Fashion, I think we've answered that.
It's going to be fashion.
So I think we've answered that. So
Let's go for comic actors.
comic actors.
Comic actors. OK, well, let's find out what the question is. Good luck. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Steve Martin films as they could. Steve Martin films. Richard?
Yeah, we're looking for any feature film which has had a cinema release for which Steve Martin has received an acting credit, including as a voice artist up to the start of 2011. As always, TV films, short films, documentaries don't count. Any Steve Martin film. OK, you now have up to 1 minute to come up with 3 answers. All you need to win that £3,000 jackpot is for just one of those answers to be pointless. Your 60 seconds start now.
OK. Man with 2 brains?
Yeah, I think that'll be there. The jerk will be there. Do you know any ones he's done a voiceover for?
No, I don't. No.
What's the one where he turns into a woman?
All of Me.
Yeah. That's not too bad.
LA Story.
LA Story, yeah.
And then you've got the 3 Amigos.
That could be a good one. Yeah, things when maybe he's not been the lead. Any cameos and anything?
I don't know. Parenthood. He was in Parenthood.
Yeah.
He was in... what else he was in his mid-80s stuff?
Mid-80s? What about the 70s stuff? The late stuff no one watches?
I don't know. Cheaper by the Dozen. Cheaper by the Dozen 2.
Cheaper by the Dozen 2? Yeah, fantastic. Cheaper by the Dozen 2.
He did that remake of the Pink Panther, Inspector Clouseau.
That would be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could go for that.
5 seconds left.
I think he's done voiceover before.
Can't think of it.
OK, that's your minute up. We were looking for Steve Martin films. I now need 3 answers from you.
OK, so we'll have Cheaper by the Dozen 2.
All of Me?
Is that the one where he changes?
Yeah, where he gets taken over by the woman.
All of Me.
All of Me and...
The Pink Panther.
The Pink Panther. OK, of those 3 answers, which do you think is your best shot at a pointless answer?
Cheaper by the Dozen 2.
Cheaper by the Dozen
2.
Let's put that... Oh, have you seen it?
I have, yeah. I have seen worse films, but I've also seen better.
Very diplomatic.
Yeah.
OK, Cheaper by the Dozen 2, we will put last.
Yeah.
Which is your least likely punt at a pointless answer?
Pink Panther.
Pink Panther. OK, let's put them up on the board in that order. Here they are. The Pink Panther, All of Me, and Cheaper by the Dozen 2. OK, well, this was your least confident answer. Your first answer. The Pink Panther. You only have to find 1 pointless answer to win the £3,000 jackpot. Let's see if the Pink Panther is a correct answer, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. Maybe that will be pointless. Who knows?
OK.
£3,000 riding on it. The Pink Panther. Well, it's right. This would have to go all the way down to 0 if you're going to leave here with £3,000 on this answer. Down it goes into single figures, only just. Well, in this regard, at least, that is not a pointless film.
No.
So therefore, you only have 2 shots left at the pointless jackpot. We are looking for Steve Martin films. £3,000. What would you do with £3,000?
Well, I'm in the process of renovating my house, and there's certain essential items I need, such as a bed.
Yeah?
Me and my wife had a little boy a couple of years ago. He's 19 months, so we're quite tired.
I bet you
So
are.
it'd be really nice to have a nice, well, a bed, yeah.
We'll have
or a nice holiday.
a nice holiday. That'd
Yeah.
be perfect. Yeah, do some childcare in a different climate.
That's right, yeah. Everything's better when the sun's shining.
Try not sleeping somewhere where it's a bit warmer.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Well, let's hope nobody said your next answer. Your next answer, which is all of me. This has to be pointless for you to win that jackpot. £3,000. Let's see if all of me is a correct answer. And if it is, let's see how many people said it. It's right. It's right. The Pink Panther went down to 9. This you thought you had a bit more faith in. Let's see how it does. Down to the teens, down to single figures. All of me, all the way down. Oh, to 1. Oh.
Right.
I tell you what, that went in the right direction, though, didn't it? You went from 9 to 1.
Yeah.
I think if you can keep that up, keep that trajectory up. Cheaper by the dozen too. You see, that's a brilliant answer. A sequel. OK, well, you only have one more chance to win today's jackpot. And it all rests on Cheaper by the Dozen 2. Cheaper by the Dozen 2. Who'd have ever thought that that was the film between you and £3,000?
I know.
Well, you said this was the answer you had the most faith in. You thought this was a better punt than the last one.
I know. But all of me did well there.
Yeah. OK, let's see. Cheaper by the Dozen 2. Has to be right and it has to be pointless. Let's see if it is. It's right. So now, we've come from 9 down to 1. Surely this goes down to pointless, and if it does, you leave here with 3,000. Unfortunately, you didn't manage to find that crucial, pointless answer, so I'm afraid you don't win today's jackpot of £3,000. Very disappointing indeed. That rolls over to the next show, but you have been fantastic contestants, and you do, of course, get to take home our pointless trophy.
Thank you very much.
There's a silver lining there. Richard.
Yeah, Cheaper by the Dozen 2. It's a proper Hollywood-sized hit, I'm afraid. Father of the Bride Part 2 got 10 points as well. You said LA Story at one point during your summation. If you'd said LA Story then, you'd have got 1 point. So that's sort of a relief, isn't it?
Yes.
Sort of a relief. Let's take a look at some of the pointless answers, though. The Prince of Egypt, that's one of the, an animation did the voiceover too. Yeah, The Outer Towners with Goldie Hawn.
Yeah.
Looney Tunes Back in Action, that was one of those semi-animated movies. Novocaine, The Spanish Prisoner, the David Mamet film about a big con. The Muppet movie he was in, that was pointless. Movers and Shakers, pointless. Grand Canyon and Simple Twist of Fate. Very well done if you said any of those at home.
Well, unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to you, David and James. It's been brilliant having you on the show. Thank you both so much for playing. Brilliant contestants.
Thank you.
So nobody's won our jackpot today, which means it rolls over onto the next show when we will be playing for £4,000. Join us then to see if someone can win it. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.